In the past decade of NASCAR, development teams have become a trend to help rookies get experience in the Cup Series. Every manufacturer has their own development team. Ford has Rick Ware, Front Row and Wood Brothers, Chevrolet has Spire and Colleague, and Toyota has 2311 and Legacy Motor Club. Those last two are the newest in a long line of Toyota development teams, a lot of which aren't around. One of those was Gaunt Brothers, a Canadian NASCAR team that would become the third Toyota development team. This is how Gaunt Brothers Racing got lost in the laps. In what is now the NASCAR Canadian Series, John Gaunt raced in 7 of the 12 Pinty Series races in 2010, driving the 11 car. For Gaunt Brothers Racing, a new team at the time. For the 2011 Pinty Series season, Jason Bowles drove for them in 2 races and started on the pole for one. Jumping into 2017, it was announced that with an alliance with Rab Racing, Gaunt Brothers would field DJ Kennington into the 2017 Daytona 500 driving the 96. Sponsored by Lanco Auto Parts. The team actually managed to qualify for the 2017 Daytona 500 after passing Elliott Sadler, who was driving for Tommy Baldwin. Kennington would start 28th, but crash out in the big one, just as all small teams doing the 500 tend to do. The team returned to try to qualify for Talladega, with DJ Kennington back behind the wheel. Ultimately, DJ Kennington would fail to qualify for the Talladega race. Although the team originally planned to run the July Daytona race, DJ Kennington switched teams and went to Premium Motorsports instead, leaving the team without a driver. They would not participate in the 2017 July Daytona race. At Canadian Tire in 2017, Gaunt Brothers fielded a truck, the 96 truck, which would be driven by DJ Kennington, with sponsorship from Castrol Edge, one of Kennington's sponsors in the Pinty Series. Kennington would finish 14th in the truck race, being the only time a 96 truck was fielded by Gaunt Brothers in the Truck Series. In 2018, the team showed up to the Daytona 500 again, with Lordco back on the car. DJ Kennington was also back behind the wheel. They were guaranteed in, as only 40 cars showed up that year. Kennington would start 30th and finish 24th in the Great American Race. The team would make a start at Phoenix, with NPP being the sponsor. This would be the first non-super speedway race for Gaunt Brothers Racing, with DJ Kennington back behind the wheel. Kennington would start 34th and finish 31st at Phoenix. The team would come back at Martinsville with sponsorship from the Gordon brothers, no relation to Jeff or Robbie Gordon, with DJ Kennington back behind the wheel. After starting 37th, the team would go on to finish 28th at Martinsville. The team would return again at Bristol, again with Kennington behind the wheel. They couldn't get full sponsorship for this race on both the sides of the cars. They had the Gaunt Brothers Racing logo, but they were able to get a hood sponsor, the Humboldt Broncos. Kennington qualified 35th, but ended up finishing 27th at Bristol. The team returned to Talladega, running just a Gaunt Brothers Racing car with Kennington once again behind the wheel. They qualified 31st, but actually ended up finishing 20th at Talladega. At the Coca-Cola 600, a different Gaunt Brothers scheme was ran. Parker Kligerman would be behind the wheel instead of Kennington. Parker qualified 32nd, but finished 27th at the Coca-Cola 600. Kligerman would be back behind the wheel at Sonoma. Parker ended up qualifying 28th and finishing 23rd at Sonoma. For the second Daytona race, DJ Kennington was back in the 96. Lordco was also back as a sponsor. Kennington qualified 35th and ended up getting 13th, a top 15 finish for Gaunt Brothers Racing. At Pocono, Jeffrey Earnhardt would drive the 96, with sponsorship from IK9. Earnhardt would qualify 32nd, but finished 29th at Pocono. At Watkins Glen, Kligerman drove the 96 once again. Parker qualified 27th and finished 24th at Watkins Glen. At Michigan, Jeffrey Earnhardt would be back in the car with Project K9 Hero as the hood sponsor. Earnhardt qualified 38th and fell to 39th at Michigan. At Bristol, Jesse Little would drive the car. Little would qualify 33rd and finish 35th. At Darlington, Jeffrey Earnhardt would run a throwback to a car Dale Earnhardt ran in 1978. Earnhardt would start 40th and finish 34th at Darlington. At Indy, IK9 would be on the car. Earnhardt would be the driver. Earnhardt would crash out of this race as he would get airborne and DNF out of the Brickyard 400. At Las Vegas, American Soldier Network would be on the car. Earnhardt qualified 35th and ended up getting 25th at Las Vegas. At Richmond, a blue version of the IK9 scheme was ran with Earnhardt back behind the wheel. Earnhardt qualified 32nd and fell to 37th by the end of the race. At the Charlotte Roval, Gaunt Brothers ran a Fueled by Hope car, a special pink scheme helping promote breast cancer awareness. Earnhardt would qualify 37th and ended up finishing 26th at the Charlotte Roval. At Dover, Earnhardt qualified 37th and finished 31st. At Talladega, Earnhardt qualified 35th and finished 37th. At Kansas, Earnhardt qualified 33rd and finished 37th. At Texas, Parker Kligerman was back in the car. Parker qualified 34th and finished 31st at Texas. Going into 2019, Kligerman would rejoin the team for the Daytona 500, with sponsorship from Toyota promoting their partnership with the U.S. Olympic team. Kligerman made the show and started 25th and finished 15th at the Great American Race. At Atlanta, the team would run again, Kligerman back behind the wheel. Kligerman would qualify 34th and finish 30th. At Las Vegas, the team still didn't have a sponsor. Kligerman drove the car again, qualified 31st, and finished 32nd. At Texas, there was still no sponsor on the 96. Kligerman drove once again, qualifying 33rd and finishing 22nd. At Talladega, the team would run a special paint scheme celebrating 40 years of Toyota racing development, with Toyota Parts and Service as the side sponsors. Parker qualified 35th and finished 27th at Talladega. At Charlotte, Parker qualified 34th and finished 26th. At Sonoma, Parker qualified 29th and finished 30th, once again in that TRD 40th anniversary car. At Daytona, Kligerman qualified 36th and finished 31st after rain canceled the race. At Watkins Glen, Parker qualified 24th and finished 26th. At Indy, Parker qualified 32nd and finished 36th. At the Charlotte Roval, Kligerman qualified 40th but ended up finishing 26th. At Talladega, Kligerman qualified 32nd and finished 15th. At Kansas, the Gaunt Brothers racing car returned. Parker qualified 32nd and finished 29th at Kansas. At Texas, Kligerman qualified 30th and finished 22nd. At Homestead, Kligerman would not be in the car. Drew Henning made his Cup debut in the 96. He qualified 37th and finished 29th for the final race of the year. During the offseason, Kligerman stated that he would not return to the 96 next year. It was announced that Daniel Suarez would drive for them full-time in 2020 after being fired from SHR due to poor performance. The team didn't run the Clash to focus on the 500. During one of their duels, Ryan Blaney made contact with Suarez, wrecking Suarez in the process, eliminating Suarez from the duel, and ultimately ending his chance to race the Daytona 500. At Las Vegas, Suarez qualified 35th and finished 30th. At Auto Club, Suarez qualified 31st and finished 28th. At Phoenix, CommScope sponsored the 96. Suarez would have qualified 31st and finished 21st at Phoenix. At Atlanta, Suarez was supposed to run this scheme promoting Cherry Vanilla Coca-Cola. Unfortunately, COVID happened and put this 2020 season on hold. When racing returned to Darlington, the Gaunt brothers ran a special scheme thanking the frontline workers for their hard work during the pandemic. Suarez qualified 37th and finished 25th at the first Darlington race. The next day at Darlington, Suarez qualified 25th and finished 27th. At Charlotte, Suarez qualified 37th and finished 28th. At the second Charlotte race held the next day, Suarez finished exactly where he qualified in 28th. At Bristol, Suarez qualified 37th and finished 18th at the last Great Coliseum. At Atlanta, Coca-Cola would sponsor the car. Suarez qualified 37th and finished 31st at Atlanta. At Martinsville, CommScope was back on the 96. Suarez would have qualified 37th and finished 27th at Martinsville. At Homestead, Suarez qualified 37th and finished 31st. At Talladega, Suarez qualified 27th and finished 28th. At Pocono, Suarez qualified 37th and finished 28th. At the second Pocono race, Suarez qualified 28th and finished 26th. At Indy, Suarez qualified 37th and finished 20th. At Kentucky, Suarez qualified 37th and finished 26th. Gaunt brothers failed to make it into the All-Star race. At Texas, Suarez qualified 37th and finished 23rd. At Kansas, Suarez qualified 37th and got 18th. At New Hampshire, Suarez qualified 37th and finished 26th. At Michigan, Suarez qualified 37th and finished 24th. At the second Michigan race, Suarez qualified 24th and finished 26th. At the Daytona Road Course, Suarez qualified 31st and finished 27th. At Dover, Suarez qualified 28th and finished 30th. At the second Dover race, Suarez qualified 31st and finished 28th. At Daytona, Suarez qualified 30th and finished 26th. At Darlington, they would run a throwback to Daniel Suarez's 2016 Xfinity Series championship. Suarez would qualify 28th and finish 25th. At Richmond, T10 sponsored the 96. Suarez qualified 28th and finished 29th. At Bristol, Suarez qualified 29th and finished 26th. At Las Vegas, Suarez qualified 29th and finished 29th. At Talladega, Suarez qualified 31st and finished 34th. At the Roval, Coca-Cola was back on the car, running a special paint scheme to salute Hispanic Heritage Month. Suarez qualified 34th and finished 25th. At Kansas, GF Machining Solutions was the sponsor. Suarez qualified 27th and finished 27th. At Texas, the NASCAR Foundation sponsored the car. Suarez would qualify 30th and finished 27th. At Martinsville, Peacock was the sponsor. Suarez would qualify 29th and finished 27th. For the last race of the 2020 season, Suarez finished 31st after qualifying 30th. During the offseason, it was announced that Suarez would not return to the team, instead joining Trackhouse Racing for 2021. It was announced that Ty Dillon would drive the 96 Daytona with sponsorship from Bass Pro Shops and Black Rifle Coffee. Ty Dillon would end up missing the 2021 Daytona 500. At the Daytona Road Course, Ty Dillon would start 38th, but finish 19th. At Dirt Bristol, Bass Pro Shops would be the hood sponsor, while Toyota Certified Sales would be the side sponsor. Dillon qualified 39th and finished 26th at Dirt Bristol. At Talladega, it was announced that Harrison Burton would make his Cup Series debut in the 96, with Dex Imaging being the sponsor. Burton would qualify 39th, but actually get a top 20, finishing 20th. At Circuit of the Americas, Ty Dillon was back in the car, as was Bass Pro Shops. Dillon would qualify 33rd and finish 21st. At Road America, Lurlock would sponsor Gaunt Brothers, with Ty Dillon back behind the wheel. Dillon qualified 39th and finished 26th. For the Fall Daytona race, it was announced that Landon Castle would drive the 96, with sponsorship from Car Anomaly. Castle qualified 39th and finished 36th. At Talladega, Castle returned with Car Anomaly back as well. Castle qualified 40th, but finished 24th after rain canceled the race. At Kansas, Fast Checkout was the sponsor, with Parker Kligerman reunited with Gaunt Brothers for the first time since 2019. Parker qualified 40th, but ended up finishing 20th. That would be Gaunt Brothers' last start of the 2021 season. With the next gen on the way, people were wondering how the even playing field would work out for Gaunt Brothers. And then the team disappeared. No goodbye, no thank you to the fans. They just never made a start again. Sold off their shop and all the employees were laid off. Their website is still up, but it says that their next race is in 1969. Who knows, maybe they quit racing to focus on discovering time travel. Some say it was their underfunded equipment, some say it was their old chassis, some say it was the transition to the next gen, some say it was them being replaced by 2311. One thing's for sure, Gaunt Brothers Racing got lost in the laps.